Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Showdown Series 4-0 Hour 2025, and we are here to bring you all the action for this entire extravaganza. It's been a pretty rough start, and with a lot of these teams now bombing out of the tournament, we are at the home stretch, the lower bracket run. This is pretty much the make it or break it for either one of these squads. There's still the upper bracket, of course, that we do have to see later on down the line, which will be Online Dogs going up against Rancor, but that's not going to be happening today. Today, we have that lower bracket revenge story, I would say, coming in from both these squads. Red Wings going up against SHOPERBRO. Both of these squads have gone through so much to reach this stage of this game. It was the members of Red Wings who did lose out against Online Dogs, and so did the members of SHOPERBRO. So both of them have that date set over towards that grand finals position to possibly face off against either one of those teams. Now, one of the biggest surprises, in my opinion, has to be that Red Wings, they've not really had the best of opportunities to make that one happen, but looking at the map selection here today as well, they should be in for a pretty good situation, to say the very least, with Prison Break, Breaking Meth, and Showtime being on the cards. Three maps that are very much in the favors of SHOPERBRO, though. But it's not close to being impossible, because knowing what the members of Red Wings are capable of, if they do play their cards right, this map selection is not that bad for them, because they have done the practice, they've done their homework for these maps in particular. So it's all really going to come down to whether or not their timings are going to be working out. And so many of these close range engagements already being done here early enough. Red Wings are looking to get a bit more closer for the overall engagement. That's for now. Corners possibly not being cleared here, could have been dangerous, but it is going to be you that instantly being able to shut down Clog here. Good early start for this entire fight, as they're looking to get as much space as they possibly can, as quickly as they possibly can, which is very crucial for them, to say the very least. Couple things do come out of player that could be on the opposite side. Hasib, beautiful for the angles, and be able to shut down Udet before he gets any more damage done with that shotgun. It's always a problem when you have a shotgun player coming in towards the building, but the fact that Udet being shut down this early with another one being found, Hasib knows his angles. Like, good God, this is what you want to see. SHOPERBRO, they put in the hours, they put in the time that was required to get this far, and they're making things work, and they are able to get those early advantages going. Overall, the engagements looking to be a little bit more further included, as already the shotgun now being utilized by Vatar instead. Got the catch here from the staircase side. Now they're looking for the last couple. It's Red Wings pretty much being shut down in more ways than one. And in this 0-hour showdown, ladies and gentlemen, this is the SHOPERBRO. They're a completely different beast. The way that they're playing this one on, Paladin does get shut down a little bit too awkwardly, and one after the other, the members of SHOPERBRO are just able to stabilize and go in for that win. The ratings in this game are a little bit of a question mark here, Paladin, so don't really worry about that. We might have expected that, hey, I'm going to be able to easily kill him, but yeah, I understand your pain. The amount of times that those ratings have cooked me over as well, whenever I'm playing a scrim or playing against a couple of my friends for fun. I have a high tendency of dying to that, so with the jail bars doing the exact same thing, it's going to be a little bit of an issue as Red Wings. They are seemingly in for the advantage here as soon as they swap over to the defensive side, but for now, this attack, not looking as this attack side has never really looked as clean for them for Prison Break, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. But SHOPERBRO has been looking quite clean, to say the very least. Now with the prep time already coming on through, I don't think they're going to be going in for anything out of the ordinary. Make sure the map is dark. Make sure it's very difficult for the attackers to really see what's going to be going on here from a lot of this position. Foot camp spot initially too. Right under the chairs, they're going to be able to find a good amount of spacing to play for. Because already you can tell that the members of SHOPERBRO, they've gone back to the labs to really think this one through. And because of these positions, able to get a good spot going for themselves. Taha's going to be a little bit of a danger man too. Playing for the awkward position already. Trying to get as deep as he possibly can to try and go in for an early advantage like that, but it's pretty much a known thing that that's going to be a spawn peak position being utilized by the teams on either side, so we need to be careful of how they take those engagements, but you can already tell none of the members of Red Wings are really going for stuff like that. They understand that spawn peak could be a reality, so not really able to find the timing. Good positioning though overall for all the members of Red Wings, but it's gonna be spotted out, but a little bit too late here. Good kill over towards the side of Sulfuric. He's going to be instantly being brought down back to earth as he was trying to go in for the repel here. Early kill now going in the favor of SHOPERBRO, and the map knowledge difference seemingly is going to be coming into play here. The SHOPERBRO are just eagerly hunting down those early kills, and the way that you play Prison Break is to find those early kills here as well. The earlier the fights are in your favor, the better you're going to be able to play. Escanor does find an engagement overall to 1, but he's not going to be able to clean up the shot. He does hit the head, but that's kind of the thing. 0 Hour is not really a game that you get instant headshot kills, so you need to be careful in the way that you go. Udet able to play for the space that was being created by Escanor there. With all of the members scrambling around, Hasib's going to be the one who was the distraction for it. Close to it though. Shotgun's still always the problem that any team has to space. And that's going to be the second here. Udet causing a lot of the damage here close to the front lines. Taha instantly being able to shut him down. Goes in for the little bit of a swift peek here to go in for that kill. Looking for more. It's going to be Taha with the second. Beautiful pre-fires coming through from him. Potato Hopper is going to be able to shut down another Escanor. Being brought down onto his knees. And now it's all up to Paladin. Outside of the building. Trying to use a drone to give his team some information. And the poor guy tried to be the info op, but it just did not work out in the way that they could have wanted. Now pushed up here, Paladin in towards the angle, looking for the duel here, instantly being able to shut down one, but his position now known and compromised as Taha. Instantaneous for the pre-fire. He is not afraid of a damn thing. 0-2, ladies and gentlemen. SHOPERBRO, they're once again at a very significant advantage.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
Again, defensive rounds now being set up by the members of SHOPERBRO here. A pretty slow started setup as well, because you're in 0 Hour, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget that the teams are gonna have to play this one slow early on, but one of the best things about both of these squads is that it's specifically Red Wings. They love to play it overly aggressive. As you can tell that, yeah, they should take things slow here in some of these engagements, but playing slow instantly does not mean that you're going to be able to take an easy victory up against these teams. Don't forget, this is still the top 4 position, top 4 in the entirety of Asia, mind you, when it comes down to the 0 Hour Asia showdown. But one of the other things that we do have to realize too is Escanor have just been the casualty for that one. He's still able to find the trade-off at the bare minimum. Thank God. That could have been so bad, but the fact that he was able to find that trade still equalizes things out a slight bit. Causing some issues from the back end of this one. Instantly trying to go in for the fights here, Evolve. Going in for the engagements, getting close up towards the angle. Is you dead? And a good spot here as well with the shotgun, but all of his members still falling across the entire map. It's all up to you there to try and pick up those fallen pieces. I don't really understand why is the shotgun going on a lone roam pretty much everywhere. Sergey's position, yeah, it gotten taken control of, but with all of his team members not even being around him, you generally need a shield to play on Prison Break because of the amount of long lines of sight that they are present here. No nades were utilized at all throughout this entire map. And Red Wings just keeps on making mistake after mistake after mistake. Yeah, they have a lot of aimers on their team, but their barebone fundamentals of just playing a tactical shooter, never mind the gameplay of 0 Hour, is just not bleeding through any of their fights. I would have expected them to actually learn from their mistakes that they did previously as they were making their way up here in these lower brackets, but instead they just are the exact same team and probably not done as much scrimming as you probably would have hoped for. As a bit of a nade here to just give him a tiny bit of opening. Not really the best of spots. He looked behind him for no apparent reason and just got caught off guard here completely. You dead, as per usual. Being dead on the server. Don't really worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. I could be mean to you dead because we're all mean to him, but that's kind of what the reality is like.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
We're looking for a pretty big fight too, as once again now finally Red Wings given that chance to just take a sigh of relief, as for now they're going to be on the defensive side. Arguably they're much more better side, especially in 0 Hour where the defense is a little bit more easier to play through because of what you can really do. They do know their lines of sight here on the defensive side. You can tell that Red Wings are no strangers to this particular map on the defense, as they have talked things over here, but the attack is where they really needed to put a little bit more emphasis on their overall approach, as they can tell strats are already being called by the members of SHOPERBRO as the different spots are being controlled over. They're looking to fight through from the front entrance a little bit, expecting Red Wings to be one of those teams that really could be breaking through those forward lines here. They are gonna be very aware though of the different positions that are gonna be coming through from them, as no real aggressive peeks being done by Sulfuric. He's not really the player to do something like that, as you can tell, especially up against a team that knows the exact same angle as them. It's always a slight bit risky, as Red Wings taking a much more laid-back approach for this defensive side. Not really what we know them to do, but you can tell that SHOPERBRO are being very meticulous in the way that they're trying to make these entries work out. Forward timing and positioning clock. You saw the player, but he just didn't try to take the shot. It's a slight bit questionable, and it's going to be Escanor who gets the opener for the side of Red Wings. Beautiful shot coming at that as well. That is exactly what you want to see. Drones being utilized to give them a slight bit more information as they are scrambling to see if they can get even more space going for themselves. Taha in a perfect angle, looking to see if he can find any of these players who are a little bit too overzealous. Doorway was opened up, I do believe, and Taha, he's gotten that timing for himself. Uzi in the hands of you, that slight bit. Again, it's a Uzi, so it's going to be very difficult for him to play those longer range lines of sight, but you can tell that Udet is trying to play as up close and personal as possible because of the RPM of that Uzi. If you can hit that first initial shot, especially if you get that one headshot, any other body shots that you make can give you an instantaneous kill before your opponents are able to even pull on that trigger because of how fast that weapon can go. So getting trades up against a Woozy is always so difficult, and even if you start off late, you always have a chance to catch up on against your opponents unless they go in for that instant headshot kill. Now though, Fatar looks to be the one to take that initial engagement here onto the bomb room. It's going to be two players already falling here. SHOPERBRO finally able to stabilize, take us down over to a 3v3. Taha knows the position of one as he's looking for that kill. He spotted it out. Doorway is his, and it's going to be Fatar to instantly bring down Sulfuric. Good shots here. And the overall trade game is just so beautiful. You can tell that they know their angles and they know how to go in for these fights. As Red Wings are good for a couple of these engagements, but when it comes down to these late rounds, they are just falling like flies. Run across, it's gonna be Paladin, who does have a need to maybe flush out one of these players. Yes, he does. It's all up to the last. Paladin still alive and kicking. Fatar tried to go in for the swing, but this angle is always such a nuisance to deal with. No flashes, no nothing here. Hasib needs to work his way around, possibly make a little bit of noise, go towards the opposite side here. The SHOPERBRO now picking up those fallen pieces already spotted in towards the angle as Hasib working his way back onto the front side. But how do you fight Paladin in this spot? He needs to go in for that perfect pre-fire, but Paladin gives this one up, allows Hasib to go in for the forward-sided play. He's going to be able to work his way in towards the side, knows the exact position possibly as well. He's making some noise here. Paladin should be able to hear this, lurking up here, but none of the players have any idea where the other is. Could be the one to close the door and maybe go in for the plan too. Yes, he does. Has that chance and that opportunity to do so. Plans in. He's going to be able to stick it out, possibly. And as soon as that door opens, this is going to get even worse. Timing is there. Good shots being taken. He needs to open up the door, but he doesn't. And Paladin with the perfect spray comes in strong with the PP Bison, ladies and gentlemen, to shut everything down. 3-1 as Red Wings. They still have a lot more fight left in them.
Use the planning table to find the bomb. Deploying in 10 seconds.
His shot's right. But overall, they're looking for even more of a bigger fight for them. Calm before the storm pretty much for both of these teams, as now on this 4v3 situation, such a risky duel to take, especially with Paladin going in for that fight. Positions are revealed that he's gonna be on that angle. This is so difficult to fight into because as an attacker, you're never going to be able to find that perfect shot. This is a hairline of a pixel angle that shouldn't really, exist in a lot of maps. But the fact that it does here, this is one spot that you always want to hold as a defender. And it's going to be Potato Hopper who does find the trade-off at least, but they have to worry about so many more of these players just trying to fight in towards these different spots, and that's one of those power angles that you always have to fight into. This is why a drone is very necessary, trying to push into this room, and not having it could just be their biggest detriment here, as a Seeb, or even a flash, mind you, Would have been so crucial for them. Without any of that, Paladin pretty much having free real estate over onto this file room. Sulfuric playing toward the close corner of jail cell. They're not really going to be expecting him, especially with a shotgun in hand. Paladin good for the opener kill. Down over to a 2v2 now. Sulfuric's position completely unknown, and this is going to catch them off guard. They're not going to be ready for this one. On the close quarters angle, Sulfuric in a good spot, but he misses out on his shot. Sulfuric, what the hell are you doing? The guy panicked under the pressure, and now Paladin, his position was known as well towards the file room. So now they're just going to be stuck. No power angle is going to be able to save them. 1 minute left on the clock. They still need to work their way in towards the hostage room. Where are they going to go for this one? It's not going to be looking as clean as you would have hoped for. A clog on the angle. They're not going to be expecting this one. Paladin in a good spot. Instant trade-off could just happen. Positions known. In for the angle again. Paladin goes in for the spray, and he's going to be able to connect it. Hasib, what are you doing? You know that he was in towards file room, and you still tried to run around to a different spot. You needed to stick together, but instead you gave him fair 1v1s. SHOPERBRO, they're dropping the ball so hard for this one. Their communications are falling apart, and REDWINGS are somehow, in some way, shape, or form, turning it all around.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
This is just such a nuisance for them to deal with. Not what you want to see, that is for certain.
Deploying in 10 seconds. Locate and defuse the bomb.
So for now, it's gonna give the better side of relief now will be for the side of SHOPERBRO that they're on the defensive side, so they can close out this map pretty efficiently if they just take 2 rounds here. Those 2 rounds are never really gonna be that simple. It's REDWINGS. Now that they have tasted victory, this map could just go the distance if you're not careful. And we're now back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Asia Showdown 2025 4-0 hour. And extremely sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for the small interruption there. Small hiccup did happen. We live in Bangladesh after all, so there's going to be issues at the end of the day when it comes down to electricity, or, of course, a little bit of an internet issue from our side. We thankfully have fixed out on all of those problems, and where we did live off was on a 3-3 scoreline, well, possible 4-3 for either one of these teams as things were equalized. As we're now back in towards the game. The lobby has already been rehosted as well, and we're going to be jumping straight on in. Two more chances for the teams to really turn this one on its head. Either one of them could get up to that match point position and then take away that one round required to finish everything in. It's going to be your boy Aggressive with a non-existent Kirito on my side. He's still asleep. God knows when he's going to wake up. I've been trying to call him, but the guy's just not there. We're going to need to see on where they're going to go with this one. But overall, I'm a little bit surprised, to say the very least, that Red Wings are really able to take such a significant lead for themselves. They've gone in for a big turnaround, and the big turnaround point for them was on that defensive side. The way that they played those angles of Prison Break was just beautiful to see, and that drone work that you would have known the members of SHOPERBRO for just didn't really pan out in the way that they would have wanted. The drones were utilized pretty well to take over staircase control, but as soon as they took that staircase area, they could tell that not a lot of the members of Red Wings tried to even play for that spot. They invested too much utility and too many resources into one singular position that they just didn't have enough to play for that file room. That file room has been the biggest bane of their entire lives here. And because of that, they've yet to really find a good setup that could be going for them. And yeah, they're on the defensive side now, so they can easily take those 2 rounds, close out this map, but we don't know. That last round already did start, and because of that, how is this going to pan out for them is going to be those real questions, as we're going to be waiting to see if we can jump on back into this game almost immediately, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, again, apologies for all of the problems that we are going to be having, but a bigger change will be what's going to be coming in front of your screen soon enough, the day after tomorrow, as we don't know where they're going to go with this, because the upper bracket matchups, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure all of you are really excited for that one, which will be Rancor going up against Online Dog. So that's going to be a big one for them, as overall, you can tell that with everyone pretty excited for what's up and coming moving forward. This particular match does carry a lot of weight, but because of one reason in particular, because we're going to be crowning our 4th place position team here, because don't forget, this is the top 4, so pretty much anything could happen here. And being in a position like this does mean that the members of Red Wings, they're in for a little bit of a treat, to say the very least, because if they're able to take this map away for themselves, Breaking Meth is not that far off, because we have seen Red Wings really be a team that can work the map of Breaking Meth to its fullest degree. Map control easily handled out by them, and the members of SHOPERBRO are not that like astounded by any of it. SHOPERBRO apparently did win out on that last match, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. It is going to be Prison Break going in their favor, as expected. They were on the defensive side, so being on the defense, we've seen SHOPERBRO just be an absolute nuisance here in almost every single one of their duels, and thankfully so, because a team of their caliber not being able to win out on that map would have been a big surprise, to say the very least. But for now, SHOPERBRO being able to take that map away for themselves, and as we are going to be heading on down over onto Breaking Meth, with SHOPERBRO being on the attack side and for the defense being Red Wings, Red Wings should be in for a bit more of a better boat here. And I do believe that as we are going to be setting up on that second map, we are going to see whether or not we are going to be jumping into a break. But let me just go in for the confirmation here, ladies and gentlemen. Who calls him may just that's we're gonna need to wait and see. But what I'm really excited for though is how breaking meta is gonna pan out for them. We've seen that Red Wings have looked a lot more better on their defensive side, but their attack needs a lot of work. And breaking meta is one of those maps that I would say notoriously is a lot more favored towards the attack side because of the different avenues that you can come in from. Staircase control also being taken over pretty easily, and other than the bottom basement side for the meth labs, you're not going to be worried about a lot of the different positions that could be coming in for you. Seems though we're trying to set up this lobby as quickly as you possibly can, though, ladies and gentlemen, but we might have to go in for a bit of a break here. We don't really know just yet. And I'll try to find these confirmations though. Never mind. We're gonna be jumping straight on in towards the game. I take it all back. Okay, so breaking meth is just about to start here, ladies and gentlemen. SHOPERBRO taking that first initial map already in their boat. As for now, SHOPERBRO looking to be that team that could really cross that mark. It's Red Wings. They're pretty much a guaranteed winner for all of this if they're doing their rights proper. This is a map where they've showcased to be at their very best, so the fact that this made it through the map selection is a bit of a surprise because this is one of those maps that they've played the most. Even more than Residential House, if you consider it. SHOPERBRO now. Looking to be that squad that can take down these Titans for this particular map. Listener is on the outskirts here with the site now being on that basement position. This is going to be pretty good for them as you can tell all the members of SHOPERBRO going in for the perfect callouts here already, playing for the courtyard positions, front entrance, also another big spot for them. And you can tell that you did playing a little bit more towards the side of the heftier position. Your duty room is revolved. It's going to be holding down on those angles. PowerPoints being taken over as SHOPERBRO are working their way in here, but they can't get a little bit too overexcited for the positions that they are going to be playing for. Back entrance. Mestaha. Trying to be cheeky with it. Revolve's going to be able to find that first kill onto Hasib, and then that's beautiful for them. They weren't really expecting that fight, and being caught out in a position like this, it's going to cost you Hasib. Taking a back seat, the captain for the team. Always will be a problem if you're never really aware of what could be waiting for you on the opposite side as Red Wings. Slowly could be the ones to turn this one on its head because Azib's pretty much the vocal force for the team. Unless and until he's on the map, SHOPERBRO just tends to lose a lot of their foothold on what to do next. That understanding on how to play this map in more ways than one is always a crucial bit here. We need to find a trade though for this soon enough as Escanor in a pretty power position of his own. White Stairs pretty much a guaranteed victory for them if they are able to play it. Sorry, they're looking for the fight too, with all their members hunting down at least one stray player from the side of Red Wings. As soon as they find that kill, it's pretty much a guaranteed win for them. That is it. That's going to be Taha being able to take out Revolve, get that revenge that they needed for Hasib here, and he doesn't take a lot of damage in the process, so that's perfect for them. Perfect angles now being utilized. Udet though catches out Taha, who was a little bit too, I would say, over-aggressive when he was trying to push out for that fight. It's causing problems for them. SHOPERBRO now need to fight for that timing once again. The members of Red Wings are actively looking out for these Yules, and that's exactly what you want to see. more fights that you're able to take, the better you're going to be able to play. As already Potato Opera comes in strong for that one. Good for the opener. The kill's his. The Clogs on the opposite side. They're looking for more here. Bigger opportunities now work out in their favor. This timing is key for them. 3v3 now. Looking to be in a clean spot, but these positions are always such a nuisance because you still have to make your way down towards the basement. The basement side is what really the biggest issue, I would say, for this map in particular, too. I'm pretty sure that Potato Opera heard out on a couple of these footsteps. They're trying to make some rotations, just running across the map to just bait out these attackers into these open spots, but all of the members of Red Wings are showing a lot more discipline than you would have known. Udet, though, kind of falling asleep on the angle, and he's, of course, going to be going on for a prowl. He wants to kill. He's trying to fish this one out. Close on the angle. Udet just gave away his life for no apparent reason. This is kind of what Udet does. He never likes to sit still. Red Wings now playing at a man disadvantage. It's going to be a little bit tough for them. Maid's already being chucked through across the entire map. It's not really the best of positions for them. As you can tell, that SHOPERBRO utilizing the patience that they had in that last particular round to its fullest degree here. Looks for an earlier fight. Paladin on the angle, but he's just not going to be able to find that Clog. Instantly finds that trade-off with the nade here, and one mishapped positioning, and that 3v3 just gets turned around almost instantaneously. Sulfuric's going to be good for at least one kill, but going in for the second is always going to be an issue for them. As soon as they hear that reload, they're going to be able to run their way forward to go in for that spacing. They still have two more bodies, so they don't really have to worry about both of them dying at the same time. And Sulfuric yet to go in for their reload here whatsoever. It's not going to be looking as clean as you would have hoped for. As already the second bullet has been fired, pulls out the pistol to go in for that kill. He does find the headshot over on the Potato Opera though, so that was clean. But just wasn't enough to go in for that final save. SHOPERBRO, they take the round for themselves. A pretty good and well played out team round coming in from their side. While Red Wings, they made some mistakes, and those mistakes really did add up.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
Sulfuric, though, seems to be a little bit more aggressive on his own accord, too, so could be working out in their favor here. As you can tell that the map knowledge is really coming through for the members of Red Wings, but they're making a lot of very...
Deploying in 10 seconds. Locate and defuse the bomb.
very good positions here overall, as you can tell all their members going across to the different sidelines. So waiting to see for that early engagement too. Slow down to a crawl for their overall approach here as all their members. Like to find a little bit of information from those sidelines as we revolve again, being able to catch out a see if the shots just don't connect in those spots. Now does it? Still in that angle, Potato Opera gonna be able to spot out all of their players, but it just didn't work out in the way that you would have wanted. Revolve just dated himself. He didn't want to die to the opposition, so he killed him off in the process. But I mean, if it works, right? Red Wings down to a 4v4, and even though this map could have been a little bit more easier, so this round could have been a bit more easier for them, he didn't want to give his teammates a chance to really slack off. Not did he? Now Taha on these bottom floors, clearing out from the exterior position. Spiral stairs already a pretty big area for contention for them. Play it smart, play it steady. That's the name of the game for them here. Another one of the bigger factors, what I'm really thinking of, has to be what Red Wings are really trying to do now. Because they're making a lot more noise here, running around, trying to get away from a lot of these power points that the members of SHOPERBRO are able to come up with. And with Potato Opera still having access to this drone, it's even more of a bigger issue. These positions are just difficult for them to find. As Vitar for a little bit of an earlier fight, knowing the members of Red Wings, they love to take these early engagements, and those engagements are going to be their biggest downfall. Kuti room already being completely cleared out, and for now, Taha is playing towards these external positions to just catch out any of these players off guard. Escanor, good for the opener kill. Vitar takes a backseat in towards this round, but Taha does find this instantaneous raids, and this is why exterior control is so crucial for you as a team. Just they have to turn their way around almost instantly. Gotta make this one work out in your favor as Red Wings. Now they have rotated themselves back towards these bottom floors, and that is pretty smart. You can tell that now they've gotten themselves out of this one. They're at the bare least as Taha. He knows that he needs to try and work his way in towards the map a bit more. All the members of SHOPERBRO, they have proper map control already stabled in, but having map control is just one part of the equation. They still have to be a bit more closer for these fights. Again, pretty much the exact same position that they were in that last round, 3v3, with Udit still alive to be that run-out player, as he wants to go in for duels here. This much more slower-ended approach could just be the thing that works out for them. Potato Hopper floating across here. He's trying to gain some space and positioning for them. It's exactly what you want to see. Udit again over towards the opposite side. The staircase is being completely taken control of. Clog on the perfect angle. They're looking for more here. Dories are going to get opened up. Paladin in a good spot. Udit, perfect kill. Goes around all the way from the back to try and find it. And now scrambling around, trying to pick up those fallen pieces. Has to be the last couple of members for the side of SHOPERBRO. They've taken a lot of damage in the process here. Good heals coming in from either side, but with the nades now being tossed in, Red Wings, they're in such a good spot to try and turn this one on its head. Udit's on the top floor, so they know that only two players are playing from this bottom angled positions. But it's always difficult to push into that shotgun. That shotgun's going to be able to find so much space for them to play for. And also because of Udit having that constant line of pressure in the back, they need to work up very slowly. If they don't, it's always going to be an issue. For those angles, this Potato Hopper tries to find a kill, but he doesn't really have the pre-fires to do so. This is so well planned out. 1 minute left on the clock. Potato Hopper is going to be good for the kill. Sulfuric with the shotgun still waiting for them on the opposite side. It's always going to be one of those problems that you have to worry about. Udit being called in to get himself back in towards the side. They need the fight to happen almost instantaneously. Udit and Sulfuric, they have the perfect reads, but Is there any form of utility left from the opposition side? No, they do not have anything. They need to use their bodies and their gunfights to really give them the edge in towards this round. 40 seconds in. You can see that the nail biter for situations already coming close for it. A couple of pop shots being thrown in. They couldn't find the kill, but Sophia is going to be the one to get it instead. Clock takes a backseat. Now it's all up down to the last. It's just not going to be happening. Never mind. It will. Potato Opera with the spray out. He takes out both. And SHOPERBRO, they take it 2-0 for this round. God damn it. How did this even happen? Potato Opera, how did you get into that position? Then you run it towards the face of Wounded and fight two. Sophia probably missed out on that second shot because he wasn't really able to reload. But good God, how the hell did this round even come in?
Use the planning table to find the bomb. Deploying in 10 seconds. Locate and defuse the bomb.
Outskirts positions now already, the members of SHOPERBRO. They're pretty much getting these rounds out of absolutely nowhere. And REDWINGS, they're left to just pick up those fallen pieces. A lot of these rounds are a little bit too close for their own good, and the fact that SHOPERBRO are inching closer towards that attack side as well. You don't really want to see this now, do you? Paladin taking shots here from that doorway. He does have a pretty good angle onto any of these players from this spot. They're not going to be able to find the kill, but Vatar does get a pretty good angle check on where these players are really trying to play from. I like the overall map knowledge that this team has. You can tell that REDWINGS, they put in the hours, but their team play and synergy just needs so much more work. With these players just being in awkward positions, so Fear already is going to be the first one to take a backseat. That's your shotgun now gone. That could have been playing close to the map, but instead, I don't really understand why did Sulfuric want to go in for a shotgun for that angle even. As SHOPERBRO now are just making mistake after mistake here. Sorry, not SHOPERBRO. REDWINGS are making mistake after mistake here. Eskimo is going to be able to shut down Baha. That's a big kill for them with the run out that did come through. They're able to create the pressure, and Udad good for the kill over towards the side of Hasib. They should be the ones to really take away this round, but should and will is a very different mindset forward here for the side of REDWINGS, because a lot of the rounds where they had those advantages, they just kept on giving it away because their players got a bit too overly aggressive for their own good. Just doesn't really work out well for them now, does it? They're working their way in towards this map now, getting closer for the overall engagements. They want more in this round in particular, and it could just work. It's Vatar with the back lanes for this one. It's not looking as clean as of right now just yet. As Revolve's in a pretty good spot too, because Revolve's positioning, he's going to be good for at least one kill at the bare minimum. No one's going to be clearing him out anytime soon. But never mind, Vatar with his nade, he's going to be able to bring him back down to earth. 3v3 now, SHOPERBRO, they're low on HP, but that's completely fine. Uded He's going to be on the bottom floor for this. As long as he survives, it's just going to work out in their favor. Crawling across is going to be one for Tars, just looking for another possible run out that could be coming from the opposite end of this. His positions are good, but with Udit being on that bottom floor, no real flashes also being utilized here. It's going to be always a nuisance for them. Pretty sure that Udit gave away his positioning for that one too. They're waiting for this first initial timing to come in. They know where the players are. They're looking for the engagement and that fight run across. Udit, I don't think he's going to be expecting this. Never mind, he will. But an instantaneous trade-off dude does come through from either side of this. Udit with the opening blow. He's still going to get shut down. The potato whopper so good on that angle. 2v1 now. The last player so low on HP, but where is his positioning? Escanor's on the outskirts. He's trying to work his way up from the side of concrete stairs. And now, with his position already revealed, they know the spots, I do believe, but never mind. Escanor goes in for the timer. He's gonna get caught out, and that's gonna be another kill, and the DP was going in their favor. Red Wings. They just couldn't get any of these rounds to work out for them. Their positions were just too compromised for their own good. Escanor, being on the opposite side of the map, had to run so far to try and go in for that turnaround. They just couldn't do anything to bring themselves back in towards this game. Red Wings are just crumbling under the pressure. Even when they have so many advantages, it just never works out. This was a 3v4, mind you, and in this 3v4, the members of SHOPERBRO, they just slipped in through the cracks. They just slithered their way through these defensive lines and just broke them down piece by piece.
Use the planning table to find the bomb. Deploying in 10 seconds. Locate and defuse the bomb.
It's a bit more of a slower approach, it seems, from those members of Red Wings, as this is not really looking as clean as you would have hoped for them just yet. As the members of SHOPERBRO, they're giving up a lot of free space now towards the members of Red Wings. As these different spots here, Taha in a good position off his own, but he needs to worry about the player that could be coming in from the top row. Good for the kill here. Taha instantly finds that frag out, and he should be able to get away from this one scotch-free, but he doesn't hear the door opening, and that's quite bad. Escanor does find that trade-off, though, at the end of the day, and pretty sure Taha is going to be mad about that one, because he should have heard that door open, but instead, it's going to be the one to fall. Big space already found out, but being able to shut down one of those members from the attack side is going to be quite big for them. They're looking for more drones already being utilized to give them even more spacing, and with Udit alive and kicking here still with this shotgun, they're going to be able to run their way in towards this basement side pretty easily, as long as Udit just doesn't die out on these angles. Playing it smart here for the overall isolation, as for now they're just working their way up, and that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see when you are on that defensive end, but clearance yet to be found as all their members are trying to still get into the power positions as White Stairs. They're going to try to take control of it, but look at the members of SHOPERBRO. They're so much more aggressive on that sideline. Main now being fully taken control of. Azudit's position just being revealed. He tried to destroy it a little bit too close and personal. He does fall for it as well. Patar is going to be the one to go in for another kill. Sulfuric runs in towards the side, bashes one of the players, but instantly gets taken back down. It's good God, ladies and gentlemen, Red Wings, they are just dropping the ball and they're making a lot of very big mistakes. Escanor is going to be good for 1 kill at the bare minimum on towards the side of Potato Hopper, but with his position now completely out and revealed, he can't really go in for the defuse just yet either. And as long as he's just waiting and chilling, they're going to have to find this trade-off regardless. They're going to go in for that rush together now. Gonna open up the door, and because of the timing and the positions that they do have, shots already being fired, so they know he's not gonna be on that defuse anymore. He needs to play for the time, and he can't really go in for informal pre-fires here either, because as soon as he does, that's what they really want here. Runs around towards the opposite side, positions are revealed, they heard the reload, and instantly goes in for that frag. 0-4, ladies and gentlemen, at SHOPERBRO, they're looking to take a 5-0 scoreline victory for themselves.
Use the planning table to find the bomb. Deploying in 10 seconds. Locate and defuse the bomb.
God's gonna be able to find an opening kill though already. They do find a 1-for-1 trade though coming in from either side of this, as this round in particular seems to be working out pretty well in their favor. It could be the last round of regulation here as well, ladies and gentlemen, if they are not careful with it. Zudid is already trying to look for an earlier fight here from those sidelines. They're trying to deal the damage. They're trying to maybe go in for the turnaround. C2 charges utilized to open up this one lab room almost instantaneously, but they're making mistakes and not going to be working out as well as you would have expected. Smoke's being utilized to try and give them a slight bit more of an advantage. Nades now being thrown out. Possibly a good catch here from the sidelines. Fatar's going to be good for the opening kill. He's looking for more. Paladin shuts down another one, and one by one, they just keep on falling. The members of Red Wings finally showing signs of life for their overall setup, and it's just working out in their favor. Down over to a 1v3 situation, all the players quite low. Taha needs to be the game changer for the team, looks for the kill, but he's just not going to be able to find it. And a very fast rush coming in from the members of Red Wings with only 1 minute utilized for the overall setup, and this is the beauty of it all. Red Wings, a fire has been lit under them for this attack side, and finally we do see them change out their overall strat line. Instead of going for the much more slow-rendered approach that other teams are trying to do for this particular map, they went in for a full-scale rush, and that rush just completely threw any form of setup that the members of SHOPERBRO could have had completely off of the rails. And Paladin being able to find those 2 kills as he was trying to rush in, now that was the biggest game changer.
Use the planning table to find the bomb.
Ten seconds in for this round to really begin, and for SHOPERBRO being at match point, this is their time to just close out this entire map. This particular instance, in the way that they're taking these engagements, it's just working out so well for them as Red Wings. They're making a lot of key and crucial mistakes when it comes down to just playing the basics of 0 hour. Not even 0 hour, I'd say a tactical shooter in general. And in these tac shooters, you need to be very dynamic in your overall approach. And it seems as though in that last round, they're able to tap into that much more dynamic nature and be the ones to cause a lot more problems to their opposition. Overall, though, this kind of smart playstyle doesn't really bode that well for them, but it seems to be working out well for the opposite side. It's going to be SHOPERBRO instantly being able to find that first catch from the rappel positions. They're not going to be looking as clean. They tried to go in for the same strat once again. Taha's going to be the one to bring him back down to earth for it. Splog on the perfect angle. He's going to try looking for that kill. He's spotting out one of the players in towards the sideline. Molotov being utilized to just close out this entry point. They don't want to give this one up for free, but his position's all revealed, and Taha needs to come in and try to save his buddy Clog in towards the side, and Eight's now being chucked in to try and cause a little bit of a nuisance, of a problem for them. Smoke's being utilized. Fatar's going to be able to run on out. Clog does get shut down here at the sidelines, but they still have a couple of nades, I do believe, to try and throw in towards the sides just yet. But looking towards the back staircase position, already being revealed. They try to go in for the kill, but they're just not going to be able to find it. Rushes across. It's going to be breaking med, just working out in a way that you would not have expected. Full-scale rushes from either side. Astaha needs to work his way back in towards the building, but he's just not going to be able to do so. It does find the trade-off at the bare minimum, but with the time now taken away and the diffuse coming in, Red Wings, they just take this round once again. A very fast rush indeed coming in from the members of SHOPERBRO. But, a very fast rush coming in from the members of Red Wings, and it just keeps on working because SHOPERBRO are just not really accustomed to rushes like this. They tried to hold on to the positions. They were expecting that, hey, Red Wings, they're not going to peek into them, but this much more faster-ended approach is seemingly working out well for them. And as soon as the round swap comes in, as soon as SHOPERBRO is going to be on that attack side and Red Wings on the defense, maybe, just maybe, this is what they really needed. That sudden change of pacing is what was the biggest requirement for them, and now that they're on this on the attack side round once again, this is the saving grace that Red Wings were hoping for. This could be the chance that they needed to go in for that reverse sweep from a 4-0 scoreline down to a possible 5-4 victory. They just need to take these 3 rounds out consecutively, but knowing SHOPERBRO, knowing how they've been playing that attack side, it's always going to be a nuisance, and I'm hoping to see a little bit of a change of playstyle overall for the members of Red Wings here, because I don't know how they're going to be playing this. Are they going to be as hyper aggressive as they possibly can, Or is it going to be something a little bit more different? We don't know just yet. Good camp placement, though, overall, down towards the bottom end of that table. No one's going to be able to clear that one out. And that's going to be a bunch of information that they can play for, too, especially for those lead and C4 tosses that they could do here. Zuded, already, he's looking for that early fight. And that's exactly how they're going to keep on playing.
Deploying in 10 seconds.
4 seconds for the engagement as they're
Located
able to work it out as Uded spots out pretty good angle as you can tell that all their members are just actively trying to hunt out kills from their opponents. They know for a fact that one player is going to be playing from that bottom-ended position, the drone, to try and clear out a couple of these spots, and Uded being in the best of positions for it as well. It's just trying to find the timing for it as well. And also really peeking into him for that particular angle. The doorway is going to get cracked open. Zeskinor's position already being revealed, I do believe. That's all the members of SHOPERBRO now. They're now a little bit more wary of what could be waiting for them right behind these doorways. So one of these angles already being opened in. They're just going to try to hold on to it. And because of that drone, you can tell that now the members of Red Wings are going to be playing as aggressively anymore. Taking a back seat for this overall fight. As SHOPERBRO are finally given that chance to breathe, not really losing out on any of their players early on in the round, and Red Wings, their adaptation is to just scare out their opposition a little bit here. Not allow the members of SHOPERBRO to just take away map control for free, but also not to give away their bodies in the process. They're playing this one smartly, but never mind, Taha does catch out Escanor. No one's really present to try and trade them off either. So that is going to be a tough one. As Uded down towards the bottom floor here once again. Still a chance for them to really turn this one on its head as Paladin could be the one to run on forward and go in for a kill here if he wanted to, but he's not really going to be expecting it. This does make a lot of sound though, Paladin. He's playing a risky game here. It's a good spot to be in, but overall, you're not going to be able to find a kill from this spot as easily. Flash is now being thrown in, so he's going to need to try and go for a run around. Paladin's position was revealed because of the amount of sound that he was trying to make here. Molotov now being given. Positions are good here. Flash is utilized to just try to burn out some time. Fatar goes in for another kill. One more player already in towards the corner, spotted out, taken away. And a possible flawless round coming through for the members of SHOPERBRO here, ladies and gentlemen. Sulfuric positions revealed. He's looking for another kill. He's going to be able to find it. Never mind. Maybe Sulfuric's going to be the hero of the story. 2 more shots in his chamber, up and ready. Looks in for the kill, but he's just not going to be able to find it for free. He gets instantly traded on through a 5-2 scoreline. Ladies and gentlemen, SHOPERBRO take the victory for map number 2 and for this entire series in the BO3. Map number 1, we couldn't see the ending, but it was a scoreline victory for the members of SHOPERBRO, while on the opposite side of the spectrum, Red Wings just could not dig in deep enough for this last particular round. They gave away too much information. They made a little bit too much noise. And SHOPERBRO, they just shut them down one after the next. This is the beauty of 0 hour, ladies and gentlemen, and this is how the game is meant to be played, to have that understanding, to have that potential to really come on back in towards that game. It was the members of SHOPERBRO who take that one step forward over to the lower bracket grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, to finally go up against possibly the losers possibly against the members of Online Dogs. If they do lose up against Rancor in that upper bracket, either or could happen. They still have one more safety net to really play for, and they've clawed their way over to that 3rd place position regardless of whatever happens. I'm really excited for what's going to happen on the 8th, ladies and gentlemen, because Rancor going up against the side of Online Dogs is going to be one of those games that you don't really want to miss. So make sure to hit that follow, hit that like as well on the Facebook page. And if you're on Twitch, make sure to hit that follow and that notification bell to get notified when we do go live, because a lot more 0 hour actions in front of your screens, ladies and gentlemen, with a couple of more games just right around the corner. And if you don't want to miss out on any of that, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. But for now, it's going to be your boy Aggressive with my non-existent buddy Kirito signing on off. I'm going to be waking him up, possibly, and then bashing his head in. Because after what happened here, he missed out on a lot of really cool action coming in from both of these teams. And hopefully, he's not going to be missing out on any more. But for tonight, good night, and happy gaming, anyone.